Alright everyone, we have a box here straight from Japan, and it got here really fast. I want to thank Darren, Tokyo Moto Detective, for that. He must have just shipped this the next day, and it was shipped by Sal, and Sal usually gets here pretty quick. To give you an idea, I bought a real grade new Gundam. It shipped 2 weeks ago, still isn't here. This is here, and this shipped last week. So let's open it up. As the title says, most of you already know what is in this box. And I've already pulled the address off, so I don't care the orientation of the box. So I'm not too worried about it. It looks like almost like Darren custom cut a box for this thing. By the way, the box is put together. Or I have the box upside down, which is more the trick of it. And voila! We have the lighting model for the Star Destroyer here. Now, it is 1/5000 scale, and it comes with a lighting kit. I'm walking away from it because I want to get the the Revell version. I don't know the scale of the Revell kit off the top of my head, but we can compare them. I like to do those things. So there's a Revell kit, much smaller box. It's loose in the box. Now that I have the Bandai, this one's going to get put together and handed over to Miri and see what happens to it. Okay? Because I don't really need this if I have this. I also have the Zeta, I'm going to say that wrong, Star Destroyer kit back there. Alright, now I was curious about this one because I want to know what a lighting kit was from Bandai. It's first production limited. Alright, now, my understanding what's inside the box here matches the non-lighted version without the lighting kit. Okay? So let's open this up and see what we got. We have a book right here. We have a central divider. We have the lighting kit. I mean, the lighting kit isn't a whole lot. It's right there. Okay? And we'll go through what that lighting kit is. Let's look at the Star Destroyer modeling guide. Now, this may not be the directions for the model. This might be the lighting guide for it. It is in English, so they did expect to sell some of these here. Although, I don't think very many of them made it here. They disappeared pretty quick. Okay, I don't read Japanese. I'm not taking the time to read the English on it, but they do have English on it. Let me get some cheaters because I'm blind. Thank you, Mr. Eye Doctor, who I will never visit again. Alright, it says the wedge-shaped Imperial Star Destroyer is the capital ship. I'm not going to read that, but if you want to pause the screen and read it on your own, there it is. Okay? Star Destroyer lighting model, first production limited, Bandai Spirits 1/5000 from Star Wars. Model and described by, and it's got his name on there. Okay, I'm wondering if this is the actual kit. The engine nozzles and innumerable lights from the windows and the bridge hull are what make the Star Destroyer fascinating. The special transparent runners and LED unit included in the Star Destroyer first production limited can be modified to create a light up effect, further representing the studio model. So they don't expect this to match the studio model. Example, the bridge using transparent parts. So it comes with transparent parts. And this was from the transparent parts. It says a great number of optical fibers have been used for the example piece, but the bridge was prepared as a separate piece. All the holes in the transparent parts were filled in with UV resin, and LEDs were installed inside after light blocking and painting. The surface was finely drilled to achieve detailed lighting. Please try this method to feel confident with your skills. So this is not what the lighting kit will do for us. Okay? Total of 7 engines can be lit up. There are directly lit with LEDs, while 4 sub-engines are lit from a single LED picking up light with fiber optics. So again, they gave this a pre-production to someone from what I gather, and they went through and did this on their own. Okay, and they're coming through here and explaining what is going on. Features of special transparent runners. The parts of the sides, upper structure, under the bridge, and hanger of the bottom surface consist of clear parts which can be used effectively to show decorative lighting. Use these parts will require more modifications such as painting. 0.4 millimeter holes, I was wondering about this, have already been opened throughout the side section, which is usually called the trench. These holes will be used following steps to modify the kit. So they give modification directions on how to modify this. Okay. And Bandai Spirit plastic model kits can usually be assembled with a pair of nippers and parts included in the kit, but the customization steps on the booklet require additional materials and tools. The following are bare essentials, but may be helpful. We have used direct, what is this? It doesn't say what this is. Aluminum tape. I use that a lot when I've had time to build models. I'm still building a few here and there, don't get it wrong. It's just I haven't got the time to build something, which is different. Use directly to wrap LEDs or to plug light leak holes. Okay, this is really good for light blocking certain areas. All right, it says plastic pipes used to collect light from included LEDs with optical fibers, also for guidance for optical fibers internally. A pipe with an outer diameter of 5.5 will be used. Now, I've never used one of those. It says light blocking paint, instant adhesive, used to secure optical fibers to the surface of the hole. I would never use super glue to secure fibers to the hole. UV resin. I've never worked with UV resin. UV resin will be placed at the root of the optical fibers, temporarily secured with instant adhesive and hardened, resulting in optical fibers become more difficult to break. I wouldn't use the super glue, but I use normal 5-minute epoxy for this. And then we got optical fibers. Prepare optical fibers with diameters of 0.5 to 0.25 millimeter. These will cost approximately 1,000 yen to 2,500 yen, can be purchased online. I have quite the supply of those on a chair behind me because I wanted to see if they would fit. Okay. A photograph during the production of the studio model, the Star Destroyer, is a large model, total length of 2.5 meters. That's like over 6-7 feet long. Okay, for those that don't speak metric. The interior contains a completely blocked incandescent lamp, separate from the light source, illuminate engine nozzles, and use optical fibers that looks like white hair. So they had an incandescent lamp in here to light everything up with. So this isn't this model kit. This is the studio model. Okay. Now here, it's impossible to evenly open a large number of small holes in rows in the studio model without dedicated jibs. This kit comes with 0.25 millimeter holes out of the box. By embedding the optical fibers into them, it's relatively easy to brighten the countless lights on the hole. Okay, so this is all done with optical fibers. What they're telling you is, well, we'll get to that in a minute. But if you use fibers, you'll get a better effect. Okay? Countless optical fibers are embedded in the trenches on sides. When lit up, become countless dots of light as seen in the photograph below. So that's showing the studio model. Okay? Now, the parts from the transparent runners on the side trenches can be lit up from the back to recreate large lights. So basically, they paint block everything but a few spots to get these big bright lights. We'll see if we can find them in a few minutes. This video is liable to be a bit long. Okay? And they give some pretty detailed directions on how to do this yourself, which is good. All right? But they're not in English. So you kind of have to follow the pictures. And they are modifying their LED lights. They're not necessarily using their lighting kit. They're using their own lights. And hopefully all these holes are pretty much pre-drilled. We're going to find out in a few minutes. We're going to take a look. If they're not, well, it'll be fun to drill a lot. Okay? And looking here, they're running a lot of fibers through the bridge, and they're saying, hey, this is what it can look like if you do it right. And then they're light blocking this part, and they're light blocking the black, and then they put it together. They build a light box here to put some lights in, and they put the light box in there. This is for the hangar bay. That way the hangar bay lights up right, but you notice a bright spot in the center. And I don't know if it actually had that. I'll have to look. And then they got some fibers going around the upper part of the hole, and they're showing you the fibers are out, and then they cut them off. And here they're talking about running some fibers around the hangar bay, and here's the engine lighting in the back. Okay, but they're not really, none of this is in English. I'm sure someone's translated the English already, and you can find that somewhere. Here they're showing the engines lit up, and they're lighting up more of the engines, and they are using the included light kit in places, and they're not in others. Okay, which is surprising me. I wonder if the light kit has spots for extra LEDs. And here they're showing how they've done the wiring on the inside, and the engines are lit. Here they're showing the trenches. They are drilling out some of the holes in the trenches and installing some LEDs, it looks like. Yes, they installed an LED right there. And then they're marking this, and they're installing some fibers. And now they're putting some LEDs behind the fibers to light them up, and they're using the aluminum tape to wrap the fibers. I've always used brass rod there. Okay, and we go through and we end up with the end product right there, and now they're showing the lighting model complete. Okay, so this is the Bandai model done. Well, enough looking through this, because this is interesting. It gives directions on how to do it. I just wish they were in English. They are in English back here. It gives you the step-by-step in English on the back. Okay? So you do get it in English. Now let's take a look at this. Here again is the lighting kit. Now if we look at it, there's 3 spots on the side and 5 spots there. So it looks like we have 8 hookups for LEDs. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. So there's room for 2 extras. And since we're running, it looks like 2 AA batteries in this, and there's lots of switches on the side, it looks to me like you will be able to run at 3 volts. Sorry about bumping the rack. Oh, and it does move things. So it looks like you'll be able to run at 3 volts. Okay? Which isn't very hard to do. If it was me, I'd redo it and up it to 5 volts and use USB. Alright, so we have 2 sides over here. I'm pretty sure this is the special lighting kit, and this is a normal Star Destroyer. So let's take a look and see. Okay? Just taking a quick glance through here. Yeah, we've got the whole tape down at the bottom. Okay, in both places. Here we have some of the engines and stuff. Star Destroyer plastic model kit, lighting model. Now here's the actual directions for the kit. And if you get the unlighted model, I'm pretty sure the directions are similar, because my understanding is this, no, I grabbed too much. The unlighted model is pretty much the same as this. Okay? You just don't get the extra parts. You don't get the clear parts like this. You don't get some other stuff that goes with it. Okay? There's some good detail on this too. The clear parts will make it a lot easier to do lighting. So we take a look, there's a parts list, okay? And there's some stickers and there's some spares. And you know how all of us feel about stickers. Here's the light box, and yes, there are 2 spots for the light box where you don't plug things in. And it says put some batteries in there. Oh, it looks like it's running at 4.5 volts. Which is pretty close to USB power. Okay? And it gives you stickers to label the LED lights so you know which one's which, and plugging them in there. And it gives lots of directions on how to use the LED lights. And again, use them all but 2. It says 2 of the switches are not used. So I plan on using this lighting kit elsewhere. Okay? And then we put the base together first, and it looks like the base is fun, and it comes with the blockade runner and a Falcon. 1 5000 blockade runner and 1 5000 Falcon. We'll find them in a little bit and take a look at them. Okay? Then you start putting the upper hole. Is that the upper hole? You start putting the things together. It looks like it's the lower hole. Well, that's a picture of the upper hole. Basically, you're putting together both halves of the hole, and right here, you're putting the pieces on the lower hole. And then over here, you start putting the pieces on, finish the lower hole, and you got your side trenches. Okay? Now, I wonder if the C parts are clear. If we look back at the part list, maybe it'll tell us. C parts are multicolored, D parts are light gray, F parts are white, E1 parts are light gray. So no, we're not talking about any of the clear parts right here. And then we got an insert here. Enjoy the condensed accuracy intricacies of the 1/5000 Star Destroyer. Okay, so over here there's more pictures of it, and I wonder if it does come out looking this good. Probably, knowing Bandai. It's just you're not going to be able to get that detail right there without fibers, I think. So turning the page, they're again showing some of the front section. Okay, now this might be the studio scale. Front section of the upper surface of the hull. It is a photograph of the model on the top left page under the caption, which exists to this day. Certain sections of the hull have been remodeled after filming, resulting in differences from the kit. Okay, so this is the studio model. Photograph of the lower left side shows a hangar front section, bottom surface. The photograph on the bottom right shows the port side of the bridge structure. Okay, so again, these are not the model kit. This is not the Bandai model. This is the studio scale model. Getting back in here, we start on the lighting kit, and you're taping down the LED harness because it's longer than it needs to be. Further proof they plan on using it somewhere else. And the LED lighting kit goes in the center. And you got all these LEDs labeled. Looks like we put 3 in the back for engines. And they have gaps for the wiring in there. Okay. And ship left and right side. So we are running, and it shows pictures how the wiring harness runs. Okay. And how they mean for the wiring harness to run. And I bet you don't get even lighting with this thing. Now coming to the back here, you're putting the back of it together. You have some clear parts for running the LEDs, some light pipes to run the LEDs down them. My experience is light pipes don't always work real well. But again, I haven't built the B-Wing, and from what I've seen, they do work on the B-Wing. They just don't work on one of the Gundam kits I have. And right here, you're putting the LEDs through, and then you're putting the top part on. Apparently this top part comes on and off in order to turn the switches on and off, or the back comes off, one of the two. I begin to wonder how you're going to turn these switches on and off. Okay. And you got lots of checks, and then you put the top part of the bridge together. And you put some stickers on there. Apparently stickers are for light brocking. And then you have the top parts of the bridge that goes together, and that goes on. And so you can turn these on and off. You take that on and off. So right, this comes on and off to turn the lights on and off, and this part snaps over it. So you're going to put this part together. It's going to go on the model. You take this part off, and then you can turn the lights on and off. That's weirdness. Alright, and then there's pictures and painted model and color guide. It is not very many colors. Okay? Not very many colors at all. But it was never very many colors on the thing. Enough looking at directions. Let's start looking at what we get in the box. I have a very nicely prepared piece so it doesn't get torn up with some cardboard on it. And let's take a look at the detail on that. You can see it through the plastic. There's some pretty good detail on the bottom hole here. Bandai's good at that sort of thing. Look at the side details. They're really good at that sort of thing. Now, if I reach into my magic box down here, let's pull out a similar piece from the Build and Play kit, shall we? And we look at them. They're not quite the same scale. If they are the same scale, one of them's wrong. Let's look at our details. Let's compare them. If we look at the side here, the Revell kit, the details are a little flat on it. Okay, whereas Bandai is not. And it looks like the trench is a little off on the Revell kit. It is a larger model. We look at the details in the back here. It looks like Revell was adding some details because Bandai doesn't have them, or Bandai missed them and Revell does have them. Ooh, I am noticing something. First off, let's take a look. It'll be easier on this side. if we take a look really close right here, the holes are there. I was told the non-lighted version had these holes already drilled in the hole. So this is part of the model where you buy the lighting kit or not. You just don't get the clear parts and you don't get the light box. I think that's the difference between the two. The holes are already there. We come over to this side, the holes are already there. No holes on the Revell kit, okay? And I do suspect the Bandai kit's a little bit more accurate. The Revell added some detail in here for interest, and they're not there, okay? So we got the bottom hole look through compared to Revell. Let's take a look at this package right here. This is one of the engine bells, okay? And if you take a look at it, there is going to be some part cleanup because the nibs do come in on the side of it. All right? The nibs do come in the side. Here's one of the radar domes. Now, the radar dome, I don't want to open this simply because of this one part right here. I don't want to open the bag. But if you look at this part right here, and I'm sure I can get my camera, yep, my camera's picking up that detail. Look at that detail on that part. There's no way the Revell is going to match that. You would have to take some styrene and do some crazy scratch building to match that. There's just no way around that, okay? The engine bell is very nice. It's not very thick, and you can see that right there. Going on to this sprue. I'm just taking a look at the light because I have some pretty bright lights up here. Oh yeah, there's already holes drilled in this part, okay? They might be hard to see here, but if I hold it up, the bright lights, and I have some aquarium lights running across the top of here, so I have some pretty good lighting. Looking at this, they have some really good details on it. And again, there are plenty of little holes in this. You wanted to take some time with fiber, you wouldn't have to drill any holes. They're there. You just have to run the fibers through it. So if you buy the non-lighting kit, you're going to be okay if you know how to do lighting. The lighting kit, they're just going to stick an LED behind it, and you're not going to get even light through it. You need fibers to get even light. So if I was me, I'd just start running fibers and not use the lighting kit. Okay? So that part goes aside. Here's all the stickers they were talking about. I think by the look of these stickers, almost all of them are for light blocking. Okay? And look at the detail on the side of that thing. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. Okay? Here's this. Do we have holes? Oh, we got holes all over these. Let me try something real quick. Let me undo one of my mounts over on the side here. That's why. Let me drop this thing down. Let's turn the light over. Let's see if we can get some of that lighting. Sorry, I wasn't prepared, but I didn't expect what I'm finding. There. Let me turn this thing on and see if we can get some of that light showing through. All right. And I've got it wrong. Ooh, pieces are falling off. That's fun. I'm getting rid of that mount pretty soon. But let's put some of these on there. Okay. You can, and if you look, I've got some light going through. I don't want to loosen this camera mount too much. But if you look over here, you can see the light coming through there. So if there's enough backlighting, you wouldn't need fibers on that. And look at all those holes. Look at them here, and look at them here. All right? And if I try, that probably will show better on camera. But you can see we got some good lighting on that thing. Working really, really nice. Okay? So there's that part right there. And I have not found the Millennium Falcon yet, nor the detail on this is just outstanding. Okay, just outstanding. And there's the light pipe for the engines. Okay. Now over in here, I'm not sure. I think we might be getting to the, yep, all these parts on this side are for the lighting kit. So these are going to be inner support structure for the lighting kit. You can light blocking parts so that you block off the kit just fine. And yep, the Millennium Falcon is on this sprue, so it will not come with the non-lighted version. Okay, That means the blockade runner should be on here somewhere. Yep, found it. The blockade runner's on this side over here. And there's the engines for the blockade runner. Don't even try to light these guys. They're way too tiny. Okay? So I'm going to try to keep all these lighted parts separate. Let's look at the upper hole. Okay, and again on the upper hole, I don't see any pre-drill. Oh, there are pre-drilled holes again. This should work. No, it's not going to work unless I do a cutout on the back here. I might do a cutout on the back there. Is that going to hurt anything? I don't want to hurt this kit because I like this kit. But this probably will work, to be honest with you, without hurting anything. There we go. That should get enough light through and block everything. Yeah, it's pretty close. So let me turn this thing on again. All right. And I don't have an easy way of turning these upper lights off. There we go. If I get the light lined up on there, and they're off camera, of course. I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to go and loosen this and move the camera over a little bit. Because this mount, oh, I'm turning the wrong thing. If I loosen, there we go. That will let me move that mount real easily. And if I do this now, you should be able to see it. Yep, you can see it lighting up through the sides. There are plenty of pre-drilled holes on this one. So if it comes with those pre-drilled holes already, there would be, the lighting kit is just really here to give you all this over here and the light box. Now all this is clear parts. What's the advantage of clear parts? I can paint this black and then use a small drill and drill through the paint. And then it lights up. And I don't need fibers. So it'll be easier to do some of the lighting on here, especially if I've got a good light source inside the model kit. And I light block really well. So you get all these clear parts, you get this, you get the blockade runner, and you get the Millennium Falcon. And all this is inner parts for helping with the lighting. So paint those black. You could probably do almost all your light blocking with that. You get the bridge parts in clear. You get all the side trenches in clear. You get the upper bridge all completely in clear. Okay? Almost the entire upper bridge is in clear. The only thing I don't see on here are the radar domes. So let's take a look through here so everyone can take a look at this. So this is what you get. Ooh, I didn't put him in the bottom of it. You get a very nice kit. And again, if you don't buy the lighting model, I'm pretty sure you will be able to light it anyhow. So I'm not so sure the lighting model is worth an extreme premium that you're finding on eBay and other places right now. I mean, it's probably worth the upgrade of price normally, but not the price scalper price, if that makes any sense. I wouldn't pay for the price that people are scalping it at. I wouldn't pay $300 for this kit. Okay. Now, if the normal kit is $80 and this is $100, $20 might be worth it for all the clear parts. But you could probably build a really pretty model without all of that trouble. Okay? So there you go. There's a review of the lighting kit, the Star Destroyer from Bandai. I really didn't compare it much to Revell. Part of that is because I looked at that and looked at this Bandai model, and they're just nowhere near the same. Okay? They're just not. And if you're really curious, I can pull out a couple more pieces out of my box here, and we can take a look at some of them. But if you're not curious at this point, have a good one. Good night. Say good night, Gracie, and move on. Okay? So, let me pull out a couple of pieces. And they're going to be over in here. So here's one of the engine bells for Revell. Here's one of the ones for Bandai. You notice the Bandais are much smaller. They have a slightly different shape to them, but not much. I mean, I'm not going to throw a fit over the Revell one. This is part of the rear engine deck. Look at the difference. No, this one goes over here. Look at the difference in the details on them. Quite a bit. Okay. This is one of the side bridge parts. Let's see if I can find that real quick on here. There it is. The differences are too ginormous, so I just quit. Anyhow, if you got money and you want to buy a Bandai kit, I wouldn't necessarily say you need to get the lighting model. I just happened to be able to get the lighting model, so I did. Hope you enjoyed the video. I gotta go back to work, so I will talk to you all later.